Good morning, I'm Willie Gillespie. Thank you for joining us this morning on the CDN News at 8. It's 8:02. We start off this morning. We've got the latest on the new schedule changes, street scenes updates. The House continues its deadlock. We sit down with our chief political analyst, and I'll have the latest on when that snow is going to clear out of here. You're watching the CDN News at 8. Starts right now.
CDN News at 8, live from Carmel Catholic High School with Aaron Risley, Hope Simutis, and Chief Meteorologist Willie Gillespie.
I'm Senior Willie, and you are watching CDN News.
Good morning, Carmel Catholic. I'm Hannah Livingston.
And I'm Damian Raffi. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's 8:03. The Period E lunchways for today are as follows: Engineering, Science, Social Studies, Business and Technology, ARC, and Study Hall have first lunch.
Health, Theology, and English will have second lunch.
World Languages, Mathematics, and Fine Arts will have third lunch.
Nuestra Voz is celebrating El Dia de los Reyes today after school in room 206. Come over and join the celebration. There's a little bit of snow out there as I walked into school this morning. Let's check in with Willie to see how long it's going to last. Willie?
Yeah, good morning, Hannah and Damian. Thanks. That snow's going to be sticking around for a little while. We'll see it actually into the weekend before it finally clears out of here. But current temperatures across the region, we're in the 20s inland, closer to the lake, a little warmer in the lower 30s. But overall, those temperatures right around 30 degrees. And I think that's where they'll stay for most of today. They'll warm up a little bit. Really no significant warming out there. And as I mentioned, those temperatures are in the 30s. We've got mostly cloudy skies across the region. 30 degrees according to our WeatherBug station out at the football field. And taking a look outside over Baker Stadium this morning, as you can see, most of that snow has melted off. We did see a little bit of snow this morning, a little bit of graupel as well, and that's just that thermal profile of the atmosphere that kind of changes things around. So we did see a very precip type earlier this morning, but most of that's melted off. There's still a little bit left, it looks like, on the track back here, but most of it is beginning to melt off. And that's normal as we begin to warm up into the lower 30s, as you'll see here today. We'll cool down as we head into the afternoon hours, but we'll stay mostly cloudy for today, and luckily that precip will be at a minimum, but it will be with us. So the occasional snow flurry, a few slick spots on the roadways if you're going to be driving today, so just be aware of that. As we look towards the weekend now, we're watching another chance of some light snow, mainly going to be south of I-80, and the models, as I've been looking at them this morning, have been downplaying this even further. We'll have a weak low pressure system to our way south, and on the north side of that we'll see some snow as we do have some colder air mixing in there. So again, in this orange area here is where the highest chance of some snow will be, and maybe even a bit of freezing precipitation, freezing rain as well, right along the mixing line there, down in central Illinois, maybe Champaign-Urbana and the little points to the north of that. So be courteous of that if you're going to be heading down south. That will be something you have to watch for on the roadways, so slow your speeds down, leave a little extra distance if you're driving down south. That's going to be over the weekend. I think Saturday night into Sunday is the highest snow chance. Up here, though, we're really not going to see a whole lot, maybe a few snow flurries, but even down there, precipitation will probably be minimal with accumulation an inch, maybe an inch and a half at most. So as we look to the 8 to 14 day period, there's been a lot of question, how's the end of January looking? We're going to be above average for probably the middle portion of January. Latter portion, I'm thinking we begin to trend a little colder, maybe a bit stormier as well. So we'll have to watch that period, but at least for the 8 to 14 day period, looking very above average, very warm, and that's been the trend that we've been seeing the past few days here. And that'll probably continue, as I mentioned, into the middle portion of January. So looking at the weekend forecast, we'll warm up a little bit each day into the 40s by Sunday. We'll watch for those snow showers, again, mainly going to be south of I-80. And then as we look towards next week, those temperatures again stay pretty mild. We're warmest on Monday, though, 45 for a high Monday, down to 39 for Tuesday, but we're mostly cloudy for most of the week, and no major storm chances in the forecast, however, which is certainly good news. We now sit down here at the desk if we're ready to transition to desk. Yes, okay. All right, we were joined this morning with CDN's chief political analyst, Mr. Waddle. Mr. Waddle, always a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for
Willie.
joining us this morning. big news here. We're continuing to watch the situation unfolding in the House, and it's been, a difficult situation the past few days. Talk to us a little bit about that, just generally speaking.
Sure. Typically, we have the Republicans took the majority in the House of Representatives in the November election. The period from the end of the election to January, when the House meets, is spent sort of figuring out who the next speaker is going to be. Kevin McCarthy has had these 2 months to sort of wrangle up the support he needed to get the 218 votes he needs to be Speaker of the House. But there's this block of 20 Republicans who are just refusing to vote for McCarthy. And so we've had 11 votes and still no Speaker of the House. And so new members can't be sworn in and no business can be done.
So at what point do you think McCarthy just says, I gotta give up here. I have to, seek out a more viable candidate?
I think he's hesitant to do it because it shows that the sort of that group of, really, I think there's 10 of them who just are, never Kevin McCarthy, and he doesn't want to let them win. He doesn't want to show that you can be this group of sort of anti-establishment rebels and control who becomes Speaker of the House. So I think I don't know that he steps aside. Okay, so what is this? What does this look like to the American people? Because there's been several kind of viewpoints in this. Some say it's good for the American people, good for government that we're seeking to compromise here, that this is taking some time. But some say this is a real testament to the weakness of the Republican Party. I think that I would say lack of unity rather than weakness of the Republican Party, but I think both are true. I think there are some policy changes that the holdouts want to see. They want 72 hours at least between a bill's introduction in the House and the vote, instead of being forced to read this 100 page bill and vote on it that night. They want it to be easier to kind of hold a recall vote on the Speaker. Some of those are significant policy changes that McCarthy is willing to bend on. It's that group of 10 led by Matt Gaetz and his kind of cronies that are just never McCarthy, that are just, I think, doing it to have a win, to show how much power they have. That's what I think is not good for democracy and sort of makes us look like a laughingstock.
Yeah, so do you think there is any compromise candidate that they could come up with here if McCarthy just can't get those votes?
I mean, I think most people are saying Steve Scalise is sort of the one. I don't know why he's any more palatable to, he's been an entrenched leader in the Republican Party in the House for a while. I don't know why he'd be any more palatable to that sort of holdout group. But if they support him, I think, if I'm a betting man, I think he's the favorite to ultimately win the position.
All right, so how long do you think this stalemate takes? We're in our third day here now of voting, and I think we're going to the 12th round today. How long do you think this takes?
I would hope it's settled by the end of the weekend. When we come back Monday morning, I would think we have a Speaker of the House.
All right. Mr. Waddle, Chief Political Analyst, thank you always. During these times, we appreciate your input and your expertise on these issues. We now go over to Liam Brown, who's talking about the Bears. It'll be cold at that game, but not as cold as the Bears. Liam?
Yeah, well, that's not too good either. But let's talk Carmel sports first. So we got a lot of sports today, so just make yourself comfortable. So both the varsity and JV dance team have 2 competitions this weekend. They're going to be at Lakes tomorrow, then Huntley on Sunday. Tomorrow, JV is going to perform at 8:35, and varsity will perform at 9:14. And the dance team would love your support since it's nearby at Lakes High School. And then Sunday, since it's at Huntley, the competition is going to be held there, obviously. Then JV is going to perform at 9:40, and varsity is going to go at 10:12. And then we're also going to have, them for the weekend. But then as we look ahead, sums up with this. The wrestling team, there we go. The wrestling team has an all-triangular meet today versus Notre Dame, the Dons, and Marist. It's going to be held at Marist. And then tomorrow the freshmen have a meet at Libertyville, and JV has a meet at Plainfield South. And then the boys basketball team tonight has their game in the Salvi at 7 o'clock. And the theme tonight is USA. And then tomorrow they'll be playing Joliet Catholic, which tip-off is going to be at 5 o'clock. And then for the girls basketball team, they had a big win versus St. Viator last night. But going forward, they're going to play against, they're going to be playing again. They played St. Viator last night, and they're going to play Marist tomorrow, and they're going to play at 2:30. Also, the girls will have their banner raised Wednesday night here in the Salvi. And the hockey team has a game Sunday at 7:30 versus St. Viator in Mount Prospect Ice Arena. This is a big game for them. St. Viator, obviously, the rivalry. And excuse me, some technical difficulties, I guess. But the gymnastics team tomorrow has a meet at 1 o'clock again at Lake Forest East Campus. And to wrap it up, it's been a long one, yeah. Also, the cheer team has a meet tomorrow at Lakes at noon, and then Sunday at Buffalo Grove at 8 o'clock. Now we go back to the desk with Willie Gillespie and Joseph Kern.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks, Liam. We are here sitting down with the one and only former CDN executive producer, Joseph Kern. Joey, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Great to be back.
Yeah, good to have you back on this Friday morning. All right, well, you're over at Dayton. Tell us how that's going.
Dayton's great. Great campus. People are awesome. The teachers are fantastic. And the classes are next to none. So it's been a great first semester. Excited to go back, but not excited to go back at the same time, if you can understand that. So
absolutely.
Being home for the 3 weeks, it's been a short little stint back at home, but it's been a nice break. But yeah, it's been great. It's been very helpful having a little bit of a community from Carmel there at Dayton.
Hey, you got a lot of students. Yes. A lot of Carmel alums went to Dayton, and more are looking this year for sure. So talk about what advice would you give to somebody in a position where you were a year ago, trying to form those college opinions and decisions? What would you say?
Don't wait till the last minute. As cliche as that sounds, and as much as I'm sure you hear it a lot, it is definitely not something you want to do is wait till the deadline to apply, which is what I ended up doing for I think 3 or 4 of my 6 schools. Is I waited till the deadline, and I was like, all right, now I gotta sit down till 11 o'clock writing applications and writing essays and stuff like that. So don't wait, get it done now. And focus on really keeping your grades up and studying, being ready, and preparing yourself to get into that college mindset. It's definitely going to be beneficial. So,
all right, and tell us about your major. Tell us about where you're going. Where are you going?
So I'm majoring in criminal justice, which should also, if all goes to plan, I can take a cybersecurity focus. So. The plan with that is, and I believe I should come out with a certificate in cybersecurity, so that'll definitely boost a resume or what have you. But once I get done with that, I'm debating if I stay on and do my master's in criminal justice, or if I just take with my bachelor's, go to the Air Force, and do that for a couple of years. Just kind of build my resume again, do some military service, and then I think the ultimate goal is to end up with the Secret Service. So,
awesome. Well, that's an awesome career goal for you. Well, Joey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me, Willie.
Executive producer, basketball manager. I couldn't name the amount of other roles that there's been that you've been in Carmel here. But thanks for coming back. Thanks for sitting down and talking to us. CDN News Today coming right back at Seat 16.
Welcome back. This morning, we got some information from Miss Giebler about street scenes. Hannah?
Yeah, thanks, Damien. The Street Scene Student Show is seeking students who want to help build and paint the set for the show. This is a great way to get involved in our productions at Carmel, and no experience is necessary. There will be a meeting for any students who are interested on Wednesday, January 11th at 3:30 p.m. in the auditorium. If you have any questions, please see Mrs. Hawk in FA4, the choral classroom, or see Mrs. Giebler in the stagecraft classroom.
That's all we have for today at 8 o'clock. I'm Damian Raffi.
And I'm Hannah Livingston. For all of us here at the Carmel Digital Network, thank you for joining us this morning, and have a faithful Friday, Carmel.